White House has announced new tariff rates for dozens of countries.
For a lot of business owners, the future is still very much uncertain.
Canada will only sign a deal which is a good deal for Canada.
Right now, 7 of America's top suppliers, nations that feed our factories, our hospitals, and even our morning coffee, are cutting the U.S. out of their export plans. Instead, those deals are heading north. Fighter jet metals, hospital drugs, even the coffee in your cup are being rerouted away from U.S. ports and into Canada's hands. And here's the kicker. In just 1 year, Canada has locked in billion-dollar agreements that rewired entire trade routes, making itself, not the United States, the go-to North American partner. The impact? Rising cost, empty shelves, and a slow erosion of America's industrial edge. While America argues about tariffs and trade wars, Canada is quietly building the future. But here's the real question. Which countries turned their backs on America, and why did they choose Canada instead? Stay tuned because the list will shock you. And before we continue, click subscribe below. We don't sugarcoat, we don't protect politicians, we expose what others won't.
Canada must be looking elsewhere to expand our trade, to build our economy, and to protect our sovereignty. Canada is ready to take a leadership role in building a coalition of like-minded countries who share our values. We believe in international cooperation. We believe in the free and open exchange of goods, services, and ideas. And if the United States no longer wants to lead, Canada will.
Here's the deal. 7 major trading partners, each vital to our economy, have pivoted away from the U.S. and signed huge agreements with Canada. Let's run through them. Number 7, China, the rare earth revolution. China controls about 67% of global rare earth mining and 99% of heavy processing. Instead of shipping to California, rare earth containers now land in Vancouver, fueling Canada's $1.2 billion deal with Beijing. American manufacturers in Silicon Valley and Detroit face shortages. Meanwhile, Canadian tech gets guaranteed supply. And if China wasn't enough, India, one of our biggest pharma suppliers, just joined Canada's side.
Promise made or promise broken so far.
And President Trump, who promised to take care of them, has remained silent.
Donald Trump has said that he would work to protect the miners. Do you feel as though the president has your back?
No.
Number 6, India, the textile and pharma pivot. U.S. tariffs of up to 50% hit Indian exports hard.
Exporter Shamim Azad says the effect has already been devastating. He says all his orders from the US are now void, with customers telling him to stop work on previous purchases. Azad says some factories that were totally dependent on the US market have come to a complete halt.
Canada swooped in with a $1.8 billion textiles and pharma agreement, giving Indian companies tariff-free access to North American markets. This threatens the U.S. generic drug supply since India makes around 40% of America's generics. Trump swore we'd get cheaper drugs. He forgot to mention they'd be cheaper for Canadians. But India isn't the only one walking away. Malaysia just redirected its electronics straight to Canada. Number 5, Malaysia, electronics and palm oil shift. Malaysia-Canada trade soared 25% post-CPTPP and jumped 41% year over year. Canada's $900 million electronics and palm oil deal secures semiconductors and components critical to tech. U.S. firms face delays and higher costs, while Canadian firms get stable supply.
It's important for the manufacturers to see clarity in the way forward to make our investment decision or even our production planning. And on the other side, the U.S. customer are also adopting a wait and see.
Trump promised American tech would lead the world. Now Canadian startups get the chips and U.S. companies get the scraps. And if electronics weren't bad enough, Brazil just stole America's morning coffee and shipped it north. Number 4, Brazil, the coffee coup. The U.S. slapped a 50% tariff on Brazilian coffee. Brazil and Canada responded with a $1.5 billion deal, reviving Mercosur talks. Canadian roasters get premium beans, while American coffee shops face soaring prices.
tariff is so large that it's going to really affect the price of the coffee. People won't buy it. $30 a pound, that's ridiculous. That's going to kill the market for Brazilian coffee, which is, I guess, the purpose. They want to punish Brazil for whatever reason, so they're putting a draconian tariff on.
Trump doesn't drink coffee, but thanks to him, Americans might not be able to afford it.
More production at home will mean stronger competition and lower prices for consumers.
And while Brazil undercuts American agriculture, Thailand is undercutting American manufacturing. Number 3, Thailand. Manufacturing migration. Canada-Thailand trade hit $6.4 billion in 2024. A $1.1 billion Canada-Thailand deal shifted auto parts, rice, and electronics away from U.S. buyers to Canadian networks. Canada is even using ASEAN FTA talks to lock in preferential terms.
We need to ensure that we're building resilient supply chains, that we are diversifying, and we are establishing those trade relationships. We are currently negotiating with ASEAN a free trade agreement, and we look forward to the conclusion of those negotiations.
Trump promised to save Detroit. Thailand just saved Canadian auto factories instead. And if Detroit's hurting, wait until South Africa pulls its metals from under us. Number 2, South Africa, automotive and precious metals. Canada inked an $800 million mining and auto deal with Pretoria. Platinum and palladium, crucial for EVs and electronics, are redirected north. Canada now secures critical minerals once bound for U.S. industry. Trump said America would dominate electric vehicles, and he left us with empty batteries while Canada got the platinum.
As prices dipped and demand waned on the rise of new energy vehicles in China, Europe, and the United States.
We've seen a huge increase in electric vehicles, which meant that the demand for PGMs would be that much lower, and we've seen an increase in battery metals.
And the final blow? Switzerland, the country America relied on for precision itself? Number 1, Switzerland, the precision exodus. The U.S. slapped 39% tariffs on Swiss luxury and precision goods.
Half of the money that Switzerland makes is because of exports. So, and they always describe themselves as a small export-oriented country. So this obviously is a huge blow.
Meanwhile, Canada already had tariff-free access through its EFTA deal. Swiss pharma, watches, and industrial machinery now flow through Canadian distributors. So basically, the 7 suppliers that once fueled America's industries are now securing Canada's future instead. Trade wars were supposed to be easy to win, but instead of pressuring others, the U.S. pressured itself out of the supply chain. Every tariff created uncertainty, and in global markets, uncertainty is poison. Canada's pitch was simple. We don't change our rules every election. That stability is worth billions.
They owe us a lot of money, and I'm sure they're going to pay.
Take Maria Ramirez, a corn farmer in Iowa. She told NPR, "We supported Trump because he said he'd fight for farmers. But now we can't move our harvest. Canada took our buyers." Or Jack Miller in Michigan laid off when U.S. auto manufacturers couldn't source South African components affordably.
I mean, for the price of
Well, I gave them a big break for a month. I didn't charge them anything, for a big month, for that first month. And they brought a lot of material into this country because they could bring it in without tariff.
Meanwhile, Canadian factories secured long-term contracts. I mean, who wouldn't feel betrayed? This isn't just policy, it's jobs, kids' future, and small-town survival. And the data shows these aren't isolated cases. It's systemic. U.S. farm exports to Canada fell 11% in 2023, the largest drop in a decade. Mexico slashed corn purchases from the U.S. by 27%, pivoting to Brazil. U.S. Chamber of Commerce: tariffs have cost businesses $80 billion since 2018. IMF: global supply chains have rerouted, with the U.S. losing market share while absorbing higher costs. That's not abstract. That's lost contracts, higher prices, and industries moving north. And yet, the hidden shifts are even scarier. Here's what people don't realize. Canada isn't just signing contracts, it's becoming the gatekeeper of North American trade. Rare earths refined in Canadian plants. Swiss R&D labs moving to Toronto instead of Silicon Valley. Malaysian electronics routed through Vancouver, not Los Angeles. Wait, what? Canada isn't just taking our imports, it's taking our role. Trump built walls, Canada built bridges. Guess which one global trade prefers? And that's where the truth bomb lands. And this is where it gets wild. Trump promised America would be respected, that tariffs would restore strength. Instead, allies now view the U.S. as the unstable partner they can't rely on. Canada didn't just win trade, it won trust. While America isolates itself, Canada integrates with the world. This isn't America first, it's America left behind. So what does all this mean for you? At the end of the day, this isn't about trade statistics, it's about you. Your phone costs more because Malaysian chips bypass the US. Your coffee costs more because Brazil ships beans north. Your healthcare costs more because Indian generics prioritize Canada. Canada is quietly locking in the future, while America's still stuck arguing about the present. Makes you think, right? Trump called himself the art of the deal. Funny how Canada ended up with all the deals. Drop your thoughts in the comments and hit subscribe for more hard-hitting deep dives like this.